Hello everyone, this is the Bearded Historian on TikTok, and this is part 5 of Where the Bombs Had Fallen. His wife's voice snapped him out of it, spoken softly but firmly, the same as when she told him to go earlier, but with so much more emotion this time. And urgency. George! Honey! Get up! I think you broke your shoulder, but you need to get up. There's a kid by the stairwell. Pick him up with your other arm and get him out of here. Please, please, the boys need you. This little boy needs you. Go, please, go. Out of reflex, George looked down at his watch again. 3 minutes. He looked over at Jennifer, said he was sorry. Tears were streaming down his face. I love you. I love you too. Now go. The strength in her voice had evaporated. Only sadness remained. George knew he had to move. He used his good arm to push himself to his feet, bolted to grab the kid by the stairwell. It was the toddler that poked him in the eye earlier. He must have gotten separated from his mother somehow. He picked him up and ran out of the building immediately, one heavy foot in front of the other until he reached his boys. He sat the kid down and immediately collapsed into a heap. He looked down at his watch. Less than a minute. He looked up at the sky and saw jets soaring overhead. Ben and Bryce both screamed in his ear. Bryce banged on his chest repeatedly. A couple of times he hit him in the shoulder, racking his body with whole new worlds of physical pain that he had never imagined could exist before. But inside, George was just numb. He watched as objects fell from the planes as they passed. Those objects slammed into multiple buildings, including the one he had just narrowly escaped from. The one where his wife lay injured on the floor with a broken leg, unable to get to safety. On impact, they detonated. The ground shook with the force of the explosion. Chunks of concrete flew in every direction. People screamed, cried, and yelled. Despair and grief hung in the air as thick as fog. Everyone felt it settle on their skin and into their souls. Nothing remained, just a pile of debris. Most people in the safe area immediately flocked to the rubble to search for lost loved ones. George wanted to do the same, but hurt too much to move. The adrenaline was wearing off, and the pain in his shoulder was excruciating. Both boys shouted the same question in his ear incessantly. Where's Mommy? You went to get her. Where is she? Where's Mommy? He saw the kid he saved run to the woman who carried him before. She must be his mother. She was ecstatic. The happiest George had ever seen any human being in his entire life. She thought she had lost her son, but now she held him in her arms. The little boy pointed in his direction, and he thought he heard her shout thank you as she hugged her son even tighter, as if she would never release him from her grip ever again. In his shocked emotional state, George marveled at the contrast in their two situations. He watched as two people celebrated a reunion, the joy of a mother who found her child after she thought that the worst might have happened. And he was in the opposite state, in indescribable physical and emotional pain, while his own children begged to see their mother, who they would never see again, who would never hold them in her arms again. They needed an answer soon. He knew that. But for now, he just stared at where the bombs had fallen and cried.